Let's talk about the Sanjay. He got double teamed.
Double teamed, dude.
The Gupta. Oh my God.
Well, he goes on Joe Rogan last week. Joe Rogan slaps him around a bit really holds him to the fire about like all the COVID, just CNN's. First of all, they accused him of taking horse dewormer, which is a lie. It is a lie, I think. Like they were trying to make him look bad. They're all so mad and righteous at CNN too. So he just called him out on that, and he just called him out on like, why are you guys being weird about even Fauci? It's like what we were saying before. It's like, just admit that you made a mistake and move on instead of doing these weird cover-ups and like, oh, we never said that, or changing your mind or whatever. So he called him out on a couple of solid ones from CNN, brings the proof, brings the heat. Sanjay just like a little darling who got lost.
He was not representing his side well. I gotta say, listen, the funny thing is, Amish, I'm much more, I think, probably left-leaning on the vaccine issue than you are.
Really?
Well, you're like about to, put a needle and suck the vaccine out of you. Okay. So like a lot of
reverse vaccine.
Yeah. Reverse vaccine. So I do understand where Sanjay's coming from in this interview, but I listened to it and I was I was on a walk, and you know how like sometimes, I don't know if you've ever been on a walk and like you're listening to something that's making you angry. Yeah. I was like, and there's nothing to do but really walk a bit faster. So yeah. I was just like in a huff. Like I was just like, I couldn't believe this guy is so idiotic on this podcast and represents his side so poorly.
What? Yeah, foolish.
Sanjay really did his side a disservice of like explaining why vaccines are good to Joe Rogan, because the entire time Joe Rogan's like, hey, did you hear about the myocarditis? And Sanjay,
he was right about the myocarditis.
He's like, well, that's kind of a good point. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. No.
The Guardian article.
Sanjay's point, which he was never able to express. I don't know where this guy got his degree from. Sanjay's point is that myocarditis. Okay, so sorry, let's back up. Joe Rogan said, hey, don't you think that it's fair for parents to be scared of giving their kid a vaccine because their kid's very unlikely to die of COVID? But look at these side effects vaccines have. That's what he's told Sanjay. Sanjay goes, well, Joe, and Joe just steamrolls him. He goes, pull it up, Jamie. Pull up the myocarditis. So they pull up myocarditis, which is a very treatable thing. Most people do not die from this thing. But it's more common in young men after they get the vaccine than in people who are not vaccinated at all.
Okay.
So he pulls that up, and Sanjay goes like, I do think that would scare me if I was a parent. Not communicating the main point, which is
myocarditis is nothing.
No. It's that myocarditis, while it is increased in people who get vaccines, is way more prevalent in people unvaccinated who get the disease COVID. So Joe's point of like, well, look at all the people getting myocarditis with the vaccine doesn't make sense, because the people getting COVID period also have a higher incident of myocarditis, even higher than with the vaccine. So even still, the vaccines, even on the random side effect you want to cherry pick, are still less frequent and still safer than just getting the disease without the vaccine. Okay? So, Sanjay somehow could not communicate this most basic of points to our bald friend over here. And it was stunning to me to watch. I was like, really? Like you are a doctor. Your job is to communicate basic medical points to people. And you've got this guy whose biggest claim to fame is fear factor. Obviously, big star, whatever. But he's not like a medical expert.
Okay.
He's somehow making more sense with less facts than you. I was pissed. I was just pissed. Hey.
But you, okay, so you saw the article. You read the article.
Wait, hold on. They're saying CNNzilla. Get out of here, dude. Get out of here, man.
Yeah, because the Guardian article, I don't know, man. It says, okay, so the headline is boys more at risk from Pfizer.
Y'all are making me so mad right now. Y'all are trolling me, dude. If y'all...
I'm not even trolling.
No. It's chat. No. Say what you're saying.
They're calling you CNNzilla.
CNNzilla is so making me so mad.
No, because the Guardian article that's about this, it says boys more at risk from Pfizer jab side effect than COVID suggests study. U.S. researchers say teenagers are more likely to get vaccine-related myocarditis than end up in a hospital with COVID. So what you're saying is...
Sorry, hold on. Putting up our parent company here.
Putting up your, I didn't know you signed a deal with them, dude. I mean, great.
So annoying.
I hope you.
Wait, what were you saying? That so give me the study. Give me the study.
I have a link to it in the Trello, but like it says boys more at risk of fight. I mean, I guess it is complicated, and maybe Joe Rogan was just like steamrolling him, and he didn't get it, or like he just wasn't able to explain it. I guess whatever. Yeah, but that's his job. He has to be able to do it. And the worst thing though too is that when he goes back to CNN, they just slap him around over there too. It's like a double team.
Oh yeah. Well, that is the funny part. That is what we wanted to cover. I was just like annoyed at how bad he conveyed his points.
Yeah. So you completely don't agree with Joe Rogan. I don't know. I heard it and I literally was like opposite. I was like, Joe Rogan is really getting the facts here. Joe Rogan's really got his points straight. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. I know you were thinking that. Well, that's how it came off. I mean, that's how it came off was like that Sanjay's this idiot. And then like it's Professor Joe Rogan over there teaching all of us about myocarditis. I mean, it's ridiculous. To be fair, he did say you were 16 times more likely to get myocarditis from COVID than from the vaccine, but he didn't push the point at all. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying he did try to get that point across, but he was so busy trying to appease Joe and being like, oh, well, that's a great point, Joe, that he did not get the most salient point across.
Yeah.
Across. Like,
he shit his pants.
Yeah.
But it says in his
so he did technically say it. I'm not trying to say he didn't say. If I said that, I'm wrong. He didn't. I do remember him saying that, but Joe steamrolled him so quickly that he's like, "But don't you believe that parents should be worried about the vaccine?" And he basically got Sanjay to be like, "Well, yeah." And then Sanjay, as penance, because he did such a bad job. This is the funny part. And this is
the funny thing is the article he wrote too. He wrote an article on his website saying like, look, I was trapped in there. There's no windows. You got Joe Rogan across the desk.
Dude.
He's going to murder me. I thought Joe Rogan would jump across the table and wring my neck.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
Let's read a little bit of this. Let's read a little bit of this. Hold on. Okay. So this is after, guys, he got wrecked so hard that he said he basically started making excuses. I don't think I've ever had a conversation that long with anyone. Seriously, think about it. We sat in a windowless booth with 2 sets of headphones and microphones, a few feet between us. Not a single interruption. No cell phones. No distractions. No bathroom breaks.
And you could have had a bathroom break.
And then at one point he goes, when I told Joe early in the podcast that I didn't agree with his apparent views on vaccines against COVID, ivermectin and many things in between, part of me thought that the MMA former Taekwondo champion might hurtle himself across the room and throttle my neck. But instead, he smiled. And off we went.
Oh, okay. He's basically like, I was so scared. I was scared. It's Joe Rogan.
Where's the thing with Don Lemon though? Because after Sanjay goes on and gets a proper spanking by Joe Rogan, by Daddy Joe, he goes to his other daddy, Don Lemon, who is the most smug, self-righteous. Like, I do see why people hate CNN. When I see Don Lemon, I don't know what his name is.
Don Lemon. I'm Don Lemon.
Dude, he's such like an arrogant, he does come off so like you're like kind of your trope of like an arrogant liberal. He does come off like
righteous. Like he comes across like, I am so righteous. And he's looking at Sanjay, angry look on his face.
Spanking him, dude. Come on, Sanjay, pay your dues, bud.
Yeah. After he goes to Joe Rogan and says all that, then Don Lemon says, take it all back or I'm slamming your hairy brown ass, Sanjay. Take it back. And then Sanjay just takes it all back.
Oh my gosh, dude.
I put the link in there.
Where's the?
It should be at the top. The link should be at the top in the Trello.
Okay, hold on.
Oh man, Don Lemon, yeah, dude. Don Lemon is like, it's like you're talking about clutching the pearls. He is like that kind of righteous dude for left wing shit. He's like that angry and that righteous. And he said, "What did you go over there and say, young man?"
Yeah, let's watch a little bit of this.
Daddy.
Something about ivermectin that I think wasn't actually correct about CNN and lying. Okay, ivermectin is a drug that is commonly used as a horse dewormer. So it is not a lie to say that the drug is used as a horse dewormer. I think that's important, and it is not approved for COVID. Correct?
That's right. That's correct. It is not approved for COVID, and You're right. I mean, the FDA even put out a statement saying, you know, basically reminding people, it was a strange sort of message from the FDA, but that said,
take your spankings, Sanjay.
Take it back. Take it all back. He didn't even say that.
Stop taking this stuff is essentially what they said, referring to ivermectin. Now, I think what Joe's point
that
is...
It's been approved for humans, but not necessarily for COVID, right? Yeah.
That's correct. It's been used for a parasitic disease, for something it's called river blindness, and it's been very effective for that. But, you know, just because it works for one thing doesn't mean it works for something else. Right. And, you know, there's still a few ongoing clinical trials around ivermectin, but for the most part, if you look at the data, there's no evidence that it really works.
What the heck are those end cards? They just like pop up randomly?
They just pop up. I don't know, some random channel. It's like
right
some random channel put it up.
But
but Don Lemon is like, he's such a dad. Like at first he's like, so correct it, take it all back. So horse dewormer. I mean, it's such a lie because they basically, like, he knows that's not what Joe Rogan meant. Like, he knows that Joe Rogan knows that it's also approved for humans. But what Joe Rogan's calling them liars about is that you guys just called it a horse dewormer, and that's it.
Joe Rogan's taking horse pills, basically.
Yeah,
well, I want you guys to see Sanjay getting spanked the first time, because watch, just he folds with Don, but he also folds with Joe. Like, he's just like both sides. He's like, you're right. No, you're right. You're right. That's
you're
why
a doctor.
that's what I was saying.
You should be cocky,
he
dude.
came off so weak, like he didn't have his facts straight, and this is not what we need in a time where the country is more divided than ever on public health.
He needs to watch House.
By the way, hold on.
House MD and grow a pair. Just fucking grow a pair, dude. You're a doctor, goddammit.
Yeah,
you're a doctor.
Dude, this guy's never... Joe Rogan, does he have a bachelor's degree? Bro, you went to school like 12 years longer?
Not even. Yeah. I think Joe Rogan just quit. Maybe high school even. He's a rock and roll. I don't think he went to college or anything. You know what I mean? He's just like...
I have no idea. My point is that this guy's the expert, but he comes off like the little simpering wimp. Anyway, let's watch.
So simpy.
So for you, Joe Rogan,
yes,
I would say you've had it.
Yes.
So now get one shot of the vaccine.
No.
Why not?
Because I have better immunity than I would if I was vaccinated.
I am so angry. By the way, I'm so mad. I actually thought Joe Rogan this whole time, because he always comes across like, oh yeah, I kind of promote vaccines. I didn't know he was unvaccinated. I was
he's
shocked.
non-vaxxed. He's non-vaxxed, dude.
He's not only is he non-vaxxed, Joe Rogan's the kind of guy who, no matter what the disease is, he's like, rub some dirt in it. It's going to help your immunity.
Yeah.
It's like, how is this guy the guy?
He's the guy, dude. He's a Ripson. He's a rock and roll. He's a fucking rock and roll. And he's rich. He doesn't need to take it if he doesn't want to. I mean,
because you can just get monoclonal antibodies. Yeah, you can just like inject. You can just hook yourself up to a guy who's gotten better from COVID and you're fine.
Yeah.
Which most people don't have the option to do.
But you know, on this show, we've always been we don't support vaccine hesitancy, but we support vaccine hesitancy non-judgment. We do support on this show. Like, we support, like, if you don't want to take it, we've always said that, no? Like, we get why you're confused, why you're hesitant, and we get why you don't want to take it. Yeah. I took it. The facts are showing that you should just goddamn take it, but I get why you're confused. I get why you're not sure of it, and I get why you don't want to do it. I guess the vaccine passports, I'm not willing to be like, the vaccine passport is a step too far, but like I mean, he seems like he's got his facts all straight. Even though I got mine and I encourage people to get theirs, he seems like he knows what he's talking about, Joe Rogan. Like, he did the research on this. Joe Rogan
seems to think, no, I disagree. Joe Rogan seems to think that if you're a 50-year-old man who just works out twice a week, you have nothing to worry about from COVID. This is not the case. And you're just injecting yourself with like HGH every day, you're fine. It's natural immunity. It's natural immunity.
He's just like the meditation people. Like, you know, the law of attraction people? They believe that too.
But it is a little bit like, you know, talking to a cancer doctor, and they're talking about like the risk of cancer, and just be like, hey, I mean, just eat your green veggies. Why aren't we talking more about eating your green veggies to lower your risk of cancer?
Dude, you know, Tony Robbins does that. Like, he tells people, like, don't do chemo, do my thing. Like, he used to, not anymore.
Anyway, let's watch. We're wasting too much time here. Let's watch.
So,
right?
Yes.
Don't I?
I think your immunity is really good.
So why, if I've already gotten through COVID and I was really only sick for a day, and then 5 days later I was negative, And I do have the natural antibodies now. Why would I take a chance in getting vaccinated on top of that?
By the way, I'm glad you're better. I'm glad it only lasted a day.
You're probably the only one at CNN that's glad.
No. We're not.
The rest of them are all lying about me taking horse medication. And we should talk about that.
That bothered you.
It should bother you, too. They're lying at your network about people taking human drugs versus drugs.
Joe
Calling
Rogan!
it a horse dewormer is not a flattering thing.
It's a lie.
Dude.
It's a lie on a news network, and it's a lie that's a willing. That's a lie that they're conscious of. This is not a mistake.
Yeah.
They're unfavorably framing it as veterinary medicine.
Well, the FDA put this thing out. You saw that. Did you see that thing that the FDA put out?
What did the FDA put out?
It was a tweet, and it was snarky. I admit it. They said, "You are not a horse. You are not a cow. Stop taking this stuff," or something like that.
Why would you say that when you're talking about a drug that's been given out to billions and billions of people, a drug that was responsible?
This is why you don't want to put
Such
up
a pussy.
a beta versus like someone like Joe who's just going to steamroll you. This just looks bad, man.
And normally Joe wouldn't do this. Joe's so nice. He's usually so nice to people. This is like particularly like insulting that they said you took horse dewormer.
It's not going to get you on a show saying this, Amish, just so you know.
What do you mean?
Saying how nice Joe Rogan is.
No, I don't. Baby, I don't need to get on the show. It's fine. You're going to be on the show soon
You're going to get on the show.
Okay,
No,
Coffeezilla's going to be on the show.
We'll get you on the
It's
show.
like a
Don't worry.
month away.
Once
You're
Joe hears
like a
how
month
nice
away.
he is from you, yeah, we're gonna
Nah,
get you
you're
on.
there, dude. You're right there. You're the it's the hits, dude. And you're doing righteous. You're doing right. The Nelk boys. He should bring you on for that. H3 did it. H3 did an hour-long thing.
I saw that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
and like it's it's God's work, man.
Well, it's enough
continue.
back scratching here. Let's continue. Trying to make a joke.
Responsible for
Joe
one of
Rogan's,
the inventors of it making
Nobel Prize.
winning the Nobel Prize in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, a drug that has been shown to stop viral replication in vitro. You know that, right? Why would they lie and say that's horse dewormer? I can afford people medicine, motherfucker. This is ridiculous. It's just a lie.
I don't think anyone is thick.
But don't you think that a lie like that
Don't
is
say
dangerous on a
motherfucker, though.
news
That's too
network
much.
when you know that they know they're lying? You know that they know that I took medicine. Like, here it is. This is ivermectin.
You got
This
it
is
with
right
you.
here. Somebody gave it to me.
I thought I was gonna
All
die.
right, hang on. See, the thing is, we're like going so fast. Like I feel like I'm missing.
Do you think that's a problem that your news network
was not-
lies?
Well, I don't.
Dude.
What did they say?
They lied
What did
and
they
said
say?
I was taking horse dewormer. First of all, it was prescribed to me by a doctor.
Yeah.
Along
They
with
shouldn't have said
a
it was horse.
bunch of other.
Oh, he folded right there. He folded. It's game over.
He could have said, look, man, it technically is a horse dewormer. Like Joe Rogan is actually being a little bit like they lied, and it's technically legally not a lie. Like it is used as a horse dewormer too, but he's saying like what they were doing was disingenuous.
No. They said that Joe Rogan takes horse dewormer. You can't say that if it's not if it's like if I go and get the horse dewormer, there's a prescription for horses, like a veterinary prescription. Right. There's also human prescriptions. He's right that it is a lie. But for Sanjay to go on his show and be like, you're right, we lied. And then to go on Don Lemon later and be like, well, yeah, I don't really know what Joe's so upset about, dude. I mean, it is four horses. It's the double team, dude. Both guys,
it's the double team.
He's like, oh, you're right. You're kind of right.
Okay, but it's basically the same medication that's used as horse dewormer as well as what he took. It's used for humans too. It's used for river blindness more. Like it's not even used for approved for COVID. It's used for like river blindness, but I think it might be used. It is definitely used as a horse dewormer too, I think. So I think Joe Rogan is just like being mad and being like, it's technically it's like
no,
it's
but they didn't.
lie.
Yeah, but that's the point. It is lying.
Yeah, so Sanjay could have said, hey, it's not a lie. They're being disingenuous, fair enough. But technically it is used as horse dewormer too. I'm just saying, like, if you're there, you could say that. Because it's like Sanjay doesn't have to take all the heat for this.
Yeah,
he's on the network. Some
like,
other anchor says this shit.
No. They're like, okay, so there are like CBD gummies for dogs, right?
Yeah.
There are also CBD gummies for humans. It'd be like you taking a CBD gummy and CNN the next day rolls like Amish eating dog food, like medication for dogs to try to calm down.
Yeah. Amish takes dog medicine.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's borderline slanderous. I mean, it is kind of like, that's a kind of ridiculous example, but I would also be mad if somebody in such bad faith interpreted what I was doing And
it is bad faith.
I get his point. I just think it's funny. I just thought, Joe Rogan on COVID was wrong, but because he's more confident, people just look at confidence. Ultimately, that's what it's all about. It's all about having confidence and being like, dude.
But I looked at the Guardian article and I was like, maybe, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, dude.
The Guardian article, it basically says boys get this other disease more. I don't know. But if the technicalities of it don't matter, who knows? Like in the more details, it might not matter that they get it. Like if you're saying that the other disease is not that bad, then I don't know. Doesn't really matter.
Overwhelmingly, the safety profile of vaccines. Overwhelmingly. Like we've never had, people say we don't have enough data on the vaccine. We've never had more data on any vaccine.
Yeah.
Overwhelmingly, the safety profile is in the favor of vaccines because people often compare it to not having anything. But the problem is, in a world where the pandemic's going on, not getting COVID itself is not a survival strategy. You have to assume you're going to get COVID. So when you run it against just getting COVID without the vaccine, all of the like side effects, things like that, you always encounter them like hundreds of times more likely with COVID itself.
Mm-hmm.
So you're better off in almost all cases with being
take
vaccinated.
The vaccine. Just take the vaccine.
Now, the data with kids and stuff, I get it. We can you can kind of like argue about that. But ultimately, Joe Rogan uses this as like kind of like a side door into, well, maybe just natural immunity will protect me and all of us. Like I'm a 50-year-old man. Why do I need?
Yeah,
vaccine?
dude. It's crazy that the meditation community is into this too. They also believe in I don't like that outside stuff in my body. I don't know what it does. It's outside stuff in my body. What does it do? I don't know. But it's just like the flu vaccine I've heard. It's like a slight variation of it, maybe. Like we've had vaccines like this before, even though we don't have this specific one. So like we don't have the 10 years on data of it, but we have 10 years on data of like something similar. And I think we're good, right? We don't need the 10 years on data, do we? I'm just worried for myself.
Yeah, no. The 10 years on data is like people who say that. So first of all, the obvious problem with that is we don't have 10 years on data from COVID. COVID being a far more serious disease without the vaccine and having far more effects is much more likely to have 10-year on side effects we don't know about. So if you're worried about side effects we don't know about, the far greater risk is just having COVID without any kind of protection at all, right?
Yeah, that's worse. That's
because
worse. Better
ultimately
to just
the vaccine is just kind of a smaller derivative of the disease itself, right? So that spike protein. So it's like way worse if you get the full disease without any protection at all, right?
Yeah,
And then also, we've seen what vaccines do over time, right? Number one, now we have like 8 months of safety data on it. Number two, vaccines always have their side effects within a very short window. Like it's not like we don't ever see somebody getting a shot and then 10 years later they lost their sight because they got a shot 10 years ago.
Shit.
No, I mean it just doesn't happen.
Dude.
It just doesn't happen.
You just imagine we just start miniaturizing in 10 years. We're like, we just become mini people.
It makes me so mad because this stuff is so easy to grift on. Like
you don't know what's going to happen, Steven.
No.
10 years down the road.
I could give you guys all the talking points of grifters. If I wanted to, like people are like, oh, he's shilling. Dude, the real shilling is in the game of like, oh, they're out to get you. That's the real shill game that nobody's talking about. It's so easy to do we don't know. It's so easy to do that. I could give you all the talking points that all the people in chat would love right now.
But you know what I like about this? This is where the very
coffee is a vaccine scammer. What a shill, dude. These people are so out to lunch, dude.
Yeah, coffee's taking horse dewormer.
Dude, I could be like all these guys giving your talking points right now. Oh, did you guys know that some of the people at the FDA quit? Oh, it's a big fat pharma conspiracy. Dude, hey. Big Pharma's out to get you guys. I could do all the shit. Anyway, I don't know, man. There's literally nothing. There's literally nothing in it for me to defend vaccines. It is the least popular point right now online to defend vaccines. Why do it?
Yeah,
you're siding with the establishment.
So rock and roll, dude.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's just go anti-vaccine.
Fucking rock and roll, dude. It's rip and dip, dude. He's fucking Joe Rogan says, "Fuck it, I'm not taking it."
So easy, bro.
No, I know so many meditation people they're so opposite to Joe Rogan. Like they're so far on the other side. And then they're like, what does it do to your body? What does it do to your uterus? There are studies coming out still.
It's just the whataboutism, dude. It's just the whataboutism. Hey, did you know what happened to Merck, dude? You defending vaccines?
What about
defending big pharma, dude? Yeah,
but lame.
lame.
You do think that Fauci made the virus? You do think that?
No, I've never thought. You think that. That's been your point from day one.
Even Jon Stewart went on Colbert and said, "You
do." I think there's a lab leak. That's the question.
But they also made the virus.
I think it's probably from a lab leak.
Okay, gain of function research. That's legit now at this point.
You said, do I think Fauci made the virus?
Okay, fine. Do you think Fauci funded the gain of function research that made the virus?
NIH funded the Wuhan lab where the COVID probably came from. Yeah, I probably think that if you held my
probably, and then because Fauci is the head of the NIH, so okay, cool. No,
what do we expect from a pharma major?
You're good.
Oh my gosh, dude!
As long as you're willing to admit Fauci made the virus, I think you're good.
Oh my gosh, dude! CNN.
What are they saying about?
Get me on CNN. I'm taking Sanjay's job.
They're so mad.
Crap, dude!
They're just like, why are you pro-vax?
I'm so pissed.
I'm a scammer. Gonna rip you off, take you down.